and a small bag of crack. I knew I had to get my life together, so I smoked the whole bag, using them to outrun cars and siphon gasoline from their tanks, usually at the same time.
Where does Seth find this footage, man? Like, what does he look up to find this? It's always some old like camcorder footage that he has as B-roll in the background when he's storytelling. Where does he find this shit? Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Frame1 back with another reaction for you guys. And in today's video, we are going to be checking out Tribal Hunter Review Hyperinflation R, what does that mean? Registered Edition TM by our boy SsethTzeentach, and I'm apologizing in advance to you guys because I know some of you were asking me to check out some of his other videos, like his synthetic review as well as his Star Sector review and a few others as well. This one just dropped, so I wanted to get to this one as quickly as I could. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. I will still be checking those videos out. They will be my next Seth reviews, I promise. I will not be reacting to another Seth video on this channel until I check those ones out. With all that being said though, Tribal Hunter Review, I have never heard of this game before. I mean, let's be honest, I haven't heard of any of the games I'm pretty sure that I've reacted to on Seth's channel before, so let's just jump right into this thing, guys. Let's see what Seth has to offer for us today.
Hey people, Seth here. Here's our
What's up,
topic
Seth?
of the day. Inflation. Inflation is a global topic. Some of the most powerful people on this planet are the same people responsible for the most inflation.
Jeff.
Coincidence? I think not.
Who's that? Who's that last guy? I didn't recognize that last guy.
Responsible for the most.
Oh, he looks like a gamer or something. Who the fuck is this guy? Who's superimposed in the background?
Coincidence? I think not. You might think it's just a way of printing liquidity for short-term gain and no consequence, because, after all, everything is tethered to the dollar since we abolished the Bretton.
Okay, I will say I do know a thing or two about inflation. You know, like I try to read up and learn as much as I can about ways to keep my money, but let's be real, Seth is way smarter than me, so I'm hoping to learn a couple things during this watch. Let's see what Seth can teach us today.
Wood system in 1971. So even if you're holding pounds, euros, or yen, it doesn't matter because you're equally fucked, screwed.
Right?
Our hyperinflation is your hyperinflation. Enjoy. In conclusion, the Federal Reserve is run by hyperinflation fetishists. But here's the thing: they're not doing it for money. They're doing it because they're perverts, and they find it to be
what is this? What the hell am I
hard.
looking
Now,
at?
Let's talk about something completely unrelated. Tribal Hunter is a completely innocent game where you play as an anthro lizard who is sent to guard over the land. You fight and protect the innocent.
Looks like Maple Story, kind of.
You consume your enemies by ventilating them directly into your mouth.
Excuse me?
And it's really funny because if you eat too much, he gets large. Oh God, imagine that. And what if he ate even more and got even larger? Well, that would be crazy. But don't.
What does this have to do with about inflation? Is there like an economy in this game? I see there's like gold coins or copper coins up at the top.
You're gonna pop. This is an allegory for your blood vessels, which are going to pop if you keep going down this road. Because soon enough, the only way you can keep going down this road is in a motorized mobility scooter. Answer me this. What will you do when Elon Musk turns off the Tesla battery in the middle of the woods?
Oh my God.
You're going to be kissed to death by a pack of nanny dogs who just broke out of a local nursery. And guess what?
What the fuck is
this?
this?
Infants ago. You're the main course. Think about that next time you're engorging yourself like the hungry caterpillar that you are. This game
Holy shit! That was such a blast of nostalgia right there. What was this thing? What was that again? I feel like I used to read this book or watch the show as a kid. It was definitely a children's book, right? Wow. That's crazy. I can't believe I have not thought about this fucking caterpillar in at least like 20 years.
Like the hungry caterpillar that you are. This game plays like a brawler platformer Metroidvania.
The combat looks kind of cool.
Like the old Metroids if Samus was...
Wait, a brawler platformer Metroidvania.
Or could become heavily pregnant, and this grants her gameplay advantages. It's much the same way. When you're small, you're very quick, you're very nimble, and you can platform really easily. When you're large, you hit like a truck. Your damage, your animations, your hitbox, they all scale with your stomach content.
That's a pretty interesting concept. This game actually seems like it's something that's right up my alley. Like, I know I say that a lot because like I pretty much like all types of video games aside from like a few genres, but like this actually looks really fun so far.
However, you become both vertically and horizontally challenged. When each footstep is the equivalent of a quake in Asia, jumping is the least of your concern. This might not be politically correct to say, but there's no way to sugarcoat it without making you even larger. You're a fat fuck. So, how do we shed those pounds? Well, you sit down and you metabolize your food in a matter of seconds. When the morbidly obese blame it on metabolism, this is exactly what they mean. This is what they're competing against. This goddamn lizard just metabolized, and I calculated this, by the way. I took an average slaughter-sized 250-pound hog, and he ate 3 of those, which, in a span of 15 seconds,
I calculated this, by the way.
Completely.
That's really
over
funny.
500,000 calories reabsorbed into his body, and still we're asking stupid questions like
the minute details that Seth goes out of his way to explain and break down. It's just so funny to me.
why can he breathe fire?
What? He's a dragon too?
He? Sitting down quickly trades satiety for health, and it's your primary way of healing up between fights. It's actually genius design. Like, think about it. You're making a game and you get really happy.
Is that something about like being satiated? Is that like the root word? Satiety? I've never heard that before.
When things get larger, that dopamine hits hard. Like,
is that a boss fight?
Heart disease. But where do we go from here? It's already half a screen, and the commission artist is just not responding anymore. After the last request, there's no sign of him. Their postal address leads us to a monastery in Middle England. But if we have to deflate and get smaller as part of a gameplay mechanic, just like free refills at a Denny's, we can get large over and over again. You get power-ups, you get stronger, and you get access to more levels. Naturally, the most common and relevant form of power-up is increasing your stomach capacity. Now, you might think, oh, my capacity just got 10 points higher. And like me, you might initially miss that firing of a neurons, that transmission of a synapse, where you realize, oh,
what is happening with that?
This isn't my final form. I can get larger. And so there's this strange drive pushing you forward where you're kind of morbidly fascinated.
This is such an obscene concept for a video game.
To see how large we can possibly get. Who is this game for? Why are we covering it? Why is it important? That's a very simple answer. First, they came for the furry inflationists, and I did not speak out, for I was not a furry inflationist. And then they came for me, and there.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot. It didn't even occur to me why he was talking about inflation the whole time. That's really clever, Seth. You pulled one on me right there. You pulled a quick one.
There was no one left to speak out.
What?
That's why.
What did that thing suck the egg through its ass?
They came for me, and there was no one left to speak out. That's why. We defend them now, and we get on good terms, so that during the upcoming political upheaval, they can return the favor and vor our enemies. Due to the nature of my work, I cover some really old and really niche games. Problem is, it's hard to get an original copy, so I depend on friends and family to send me a working copy of Bad Rats 2, Punjabi Pre-Cracked No Virus. One of the most stable ways to do this is torrenting, or as it's more commonly known, trying before buying. Unfortunately, my internet provider and the people who work there are the product of a brother and sister who loved each other a little too much, as they cannot distinguish between illegal torrenting and me trying to download a legitimate copy of a game I already own. So they throttle my connection and my internet grinds to a halt. Thank you, Verizon, for the opportunity to pay $89.99 monthly, all for the luxury of having no internet.
Oh my god, don't even get me started on internet prices these days, guys. I don't know how many of you guys are from Canada or the States. I think if you're in the States, you definitely have a better time with this. But over here in Canada, we have like 3 internet service providers, or 2 maybe even, actually 2 major ones. So our internet prices are jacked through the roof. I've heard that in places like Austin, Texas, and some areas of the United States where there's like a ton of competing ISPs, internet prices are cheap as shit, and you're getting like gigabit fiber internet. Over here, I'm paying like an arm and a dick for like 500 megs down. It's insane.
Despite this, like a battered housewife,
digress.
I insisted. They're doing it because they love me. Then, about a month later, I received a cease and desist from Verizon, telling me that I'm most definitely going to jail, giving me a list of racially motivated gangs I can choose to join.
That reminds me, back when I was in first year college, one of my buddies got a cease and desist, or like a warning letter from the college or from the university because he was torrenting games on the campus Wi-Fi. Good times.
Once inside, I've never owned a paper shredder before, but I gotta tell you, it's strangely satisfying. That's my third letter this week. So I realized my internet provider really doesn't know what's best for me. So instead, I chose to install ExpressVPN. When I run ExpressVPN on my internet by using the same VPN I've trusted since 2019. 3 years, and they never failed me once. How about that for an endorsement? Sign up now and you
You're
can
the only people that'll work with me
for free by visiting expressvpn.com/Seth or clicking the link in the description box below. Thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. Gameplay is pretty straightforward. You help out your local village by beating the shit out of everything and consuming their dead bodies. For an island guardian, you're actually quite terrifying, and the village itself is a really nice place.
What's the story? Is there a story to this game that he could break down for me? Like, don't get me wrong, I love Metroidvanias just for the style of gameplay itself, of like getting your character powered up, being able to go back and explore new areas that you couldn't go to before you had these power-ups. I love all that stuff, but it's also nice when they tie in an interesting story too. I'm wondering if this thing has I wonder if this game has any semblance of a story.
Beautiful day on God's earth. I wonder, what shall I do today? Work on myself? Develop my skills? Care for my friends and family? I know, I'll spend my entire life online and become increasingly weird and isolated, divorced from reality. Self-esteem?
Wow.
What's that? I like the little townspeople.
Too close to home. No, I'm just kidding.
A purpose for why you're doing what you're doing. I also found out the flying minigame is a really good way to make money. On the other hand, it's really difficult to explain to friends the nature of your anger. There's not many ways to say I popped. Like Icarus, I flew too close to the sun. Or in this case, I flew too close to one chicken dinner too many. And I have to repeat the entire stage. You can play using a keyboard or controller, but I strongly recommend a controller for your own
what the hell?
and sanity. Personally, I think the platforming is incredibly difficult. I've had situations where I can clear the entire level, but I can't make a single jump to save my life. And then I proceed to repeatedly eat the same trap until I die. You have two spells, fire and egg. What do they do? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. Fire is fire, and egg can make a cow forcibly pregnant. Not really much more to say about that. We know the rest. The milk industry, reptile eggs. Some would argue you can't have one without the other. You get
I don't even know what to say about this game, man. There's definitely some aspects of it that seem fun and interesting, but there's other parts of it that would make me feel too uncomfortable.
Skills and abilities by defeating bosses, which in turn can be used to access new areas.
I do love platformers, though.
You hear the same tracks often,
and
but
Metroidvanias,
or pronounced, so they don't really feel repetitive. Some sounds are not balanced for the rest of the game. Each time I hit an armored pig, my speakers shake and my table travels. In town, you can buy items, and I strongly recommend them. They can save your life or a trip back home, which can be quite a bit of backtracking.
So food doesn't heal you, or did he say that it does heal you as well as make you larger?
You unlock the ability to fast travel relatively early into the game. I actually
always
love
nice,
it
always
because,
a bonus.
The animation is based on your current weight. So if you're thin, you can tell it's a very pleasant ride. If you're not, well, it's clearly more of a struggle to stay in the air. At some point, I realized you can intentionally get caught and bloated by slime plants, break free, spit out the slimes, kill them, and generate infinite XP. Unfortunately, I have to witness something unsettling each time I do this. So no, I don't think it's an exploit. It's an intentional form of torture. Everything you gain is outweighed by everything you lose. Namely, the ability to close your eyes ever again without that image burned into your skull. Enemies.
Yo, I feel like Seth has points in this video where he's speaking less in his usual monotone narrator voice, and he's actually expressing a little bit more emotion. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I like it. I like expressive, emotional Seth, you know?
Are varied and will harm you in one of two ways. One, they can kill you. Two, they can forcibly feed you until you explode. This is a similar experience to visiting grandma. The longer you stay, the higher your risk of cardiac arrest. She won't kill you out of hatred. She'll drown you in the pancake syrup river of love. Also, the death sequence for getting too full is arguably more difficult to swallow. Food is both your strength and weakness. You must constantly toe the line between obesity and death. They say video games are not the greatest medium for storytelling, but I disagree. When you see your obese lizard grappling the side of a cliff, his face says it all.
So weird.
Without words, he evokes one singular emotion.
Looks funny though. It actually looks kind of fun. I'm gonna be honest.
In this game is brutal. Forget those two archers in Anor Londo. That will seem like a pleasant memory.
Don't even get me started.
By roast turkey. You get XP pretty generously, and this lets you upgrade your abilities at any time. Many of these are
Cool.
locked until you get later into the game. I don't have any recommendations except get healing on your punches, because relying on digestion for health is
lifesteal
okay,
'em? That's
but
so
you
good.
can't do magic on an empty...
Got it. Okay, so you satiate, or what did he say? Satiety? Satiety? What did he say? What was the word again? Whatever. You eat the food, and then you metabolize it, you digest it, and that's what gives you the health back. Got it. Okay. Answered my question.
Stomach. And that's a shame, because playing the game as a tactical egg artillery is objectively
His
the
face
best
after you eat the
experience.
egg.
Imagine
It's so
seeing
good.
something pouring from the sky, and it's either going to kill you or make you pregnant. That's quite
That's-
terrifying. Critique.
That's
I hate slimes. I really dislike them. That is all. Besides that,
Yep.
sometimes animations really don't look like they should affect you, but they do. Like, you can feel a hammer's shockwave when you're not even on the same floor.
okay,
It's
okay.
a minor complaint, and they'll probably fix this. You know what?
I mean, that's not that big of a deal. That's kind of something that you get hit by once or twice, and then you learn to not stand right below the ledge of an enemy with a hammer, you know? That's not too big of a deal in
The
my
furry
eyes.
developer. In all likelihood, they will fix this. And
A
they're
furry
currently taking
developer.
notes. That's the difference. You want something done? Stop recruiting on LinkedIn. Go to Fur Affinity instead. Also,
Go to
some of the
what?
controls can be
Fur
awkward, but you
Affinity?
can remap them. And also, you're just going to get used to it. Reverse critique. I really like the idle animations. That is all. In conclusion, I give Tribal Hunter a full out of belly. It was there for me during a difficult period of my life. Each time I made any money, I would flash my wads of cash outside my wallet and comically lose them to a strong gust of wind each time. Eventually, I was left with nothing, just me and a small bag of crack. I knew I had to get my life together, so I smoked the whole bag, using them to outrun cars and siphon gasoline from their tanks, usually at the same time.
Where does Seth find this footage, man? Like, what does he look up to find this? It's always some shitty fucking old like camcorder footage that he has as B-roll in the background when he's storytelling. Where does he find this shit?
I would describe the experience like using the devil trigger from Devil May Cry. I used high gasoline prices to in turn buy more crack, which I used to call fueling my addiction. I found this joke to be very amusing. I would repeat it often to the same homeless man I would hound for hours, running circles around him as he cried and wept. And here I am today. Thank you, Tribal Hunter, for giving me my life back. Hey, sorry for stretching out the video, but I'm happy to inform you all that Tribal Hunter is now on GOG. Follow my GOG link at /UNICEF for 15% off. For every dollar you spend, I will personally steal a liter of clean drinking water from the children that need it most.
Oh
For
my
good charities
God.
that make things better. I promise I'll make them worse. The
That's
developers
terrible.
told us they're really close to a 1.0 release, so even if you buy now,
Cool.
the game is going to leave early access in a couple of days.
I like that. That's pretty interesting that Seth, I think this was similar to, what was that last one that I watched? Songs of Conquest, I believe. It's interesting that Seth goes out of his way to actually like promote these games, put out these promo codes and stuff like that so people can get them at a discount. I like that. I'll probably get this as well.
always,
This seems
more
kind of fun.
content to come, so stay tuned.
Once
Or
I have some
don't.
time to play
It's an
more
open
games, I'm
door
definitely
policy. A warm
need to
thanks
go
to
through
the
some of
many
these.
members of the Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful, unless you're
Whoa.
mentally unstable, in which case I recommend comprehend.
What is that? What is that little meter at the bottom? Do you have to like press a button at the right time? These boss fights actually look kind of cool, if I'm being honest.
Psychiatric therapy. Have a good one.
Whoa. All right, well, what the fuck did I just watch right there? I feel like I barely said anything in that video. I mean, like, what was there really to say aside from like the the game itself? There wasn't much to comment on, like the gameplay, I guess, which is normally what I like to speak on during these videos of Seth's when he's explaining these games. It was just a typical Metroidvania game with cool boss fights. I actually do think the mechanic surrounding your size, how if you're smaller you're faster, if you're bigger you hit harder, etc. I actually think that's pretty cool. I can picture how they can incorporate that into the game in interesting and fun ways, like different puzzles and different areas of combat where it might be more beneficial to be quicker, but the enemies might be really strong, so you kind of have to weigh the odds. Like little things like that I actually think could be pretty cool. But yeah, it seems like a pretty standard Metroidvania game. Where it went left though is obviously when you can spit a chicken egg into a pig's mouth and get him pregnant, or a cow or something like that. There was definitely some very strange parts of this game, but overall I think the concept is kind of cool, so I'll probably end up checking this one out. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Go check out the original video, go sub to Seth, go check out all of his other shit. I know all of you guys have already seen all of his stuff before, that's why you're here checking out this reaction, so I appreciate each and every one of you guys though for checking out my video today. Drop a thumbs up if you enjoyed, drop a comment leaving more recommendations, and drop a subscribe down below as well so you don't miss any of my new videos videos that are going to be coming out. I am recording a lot of content right now. I'm trying to, so please expect more videos more frequently, at least in the coming weeks. So thank you guys again. Appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.